Hey guys, me again. I guess something I might cover in this video. If you're going to play a distorted guitar, and of course I got my apropos axe for that. But if you're going to be playing rhythm using certain kinds of distortion, um, and again, probably most of you figured this out, but there might be, a beginner out there that's not quite sure. Let's say, I'll just dial this back here a little bit. Okay, let's say, you've actually, been going to a teacher, looking in books and whatever, and you've learned a lot of your basic chords, like a C, an F, and a G, and a D, A, and E. And you might have even learned, some of these full bar chords further on up, So you have this full variety of multi-position, multi-finger chords, that you've learned. Okay, now, some of you may have figured out, the same thing that you might play up here at the 5th fret. Sounds pretty, right? Put that on distortion and try and strum through it. Actually, on this one, it sounds pretty good. Let's say, and I've got one of these digital amps where you can dial in, from kind of a sweeter, more trebly distortion to a warmer, more muddy sounding distortion. Muddy sound is what I'm talking about in particular, which I can't quite dial in on mine, but just try and imagine what I'm talking about. Full on distortion, playing a chord like that. It doesn't quite fit exactly, right? It sounds better on a clean. And so what a lot of guys figured out was, this is where the power chord came into, heavy rock, which essentially you're either playing 2 notes, also called a double stop, to make that chord, or you're playing 3 notes. And let me show you what I mean. So, like if you're taking, let's just do E string on the 5th fret, right? That root note. Now, if you want to make a power chord out of that, you can take either your ring finger or your pinky. I like to use my pinky. Put it on the D string, 7th fret, next to that. Strike those 2 notes. There you go. That is a very simple power chord. Also a double stop is what they're called. And that's a way to play that distorted rhythm. It's got power to it, and it's not as garbledy sounding as like a full-on chord. So if you just do that, you got the gist of the idea for your metal playing. Now, that's the very simplest version of it. You can also take your ring finger instead of your pinky and put it in place there, and maybe take your pinky and put it on the G string, 7th fret. So you've got 5, 7, 7 with your index, ring, and pinky. Do all 3. Now it's a slight difference, but it adds just a little bit more beef, and that's more of a full-on power chord. But if you just want to keep it simple, I tend to do a lot of double stops, easier to grab, a little bit more thicker sound, all three, just a hint, two. And of course, if you want to be really simple, like the Edge, you're just hitting that root note and using that as your rhythm. But I don't know. Like I said, that's something that I'm sure most people have picked up already. And if you've got one of those, excuse me, if you got one of those older amps that just has kind of a muddier distortion, you probably figure out it's really hard to get a good sound out of a full-on chord. Now, if you get one of these fancier amps, digital amps like I've got, like Line 6, and a good guitar with a good pickup, you can get some pretty decent sounds out of full-on chords on distortion. So, you know, it's like... Still haven't quite figured out, you know, something cool to do with that yet, but hey, it's there. But again, you know, if you got your just simple basic setup, power chords will save your life. So learn to make friends with them. Okay, they're very useful. And that's all I got for right now, guys. Thanks for checking out.